So just to start, this is a quick disclaimer. Any of the trades that I'm placing today, any of the examples that I'm pulling up, it's not trade advice in any fashion, not saying, hey, go place this yourself. This is going to be a great trade. This is just, how you set up, kind of example purposes, how to here. Even though, we'll see. Maybe I get some good trades. I don't know. We'll find out. So off the bat, when you first open up the desktop platform, you are going to see the dashboard. So the dashboard is a nice place to start your day whenever you open up the platform. In general, your eyes are going to go to the top of the screen here. And let me get my drawings. You're going to see a quick snapshot of the S&P 500. And if you do not see the dashboard right now, and I see a couple of questions coming up, there is a button to pull this up if you're not seeing the dashboard right now here in the top left. So go ahead and click that. If you are not seeing the dashboard right now, pull that up. But to go back to where I was, you're going to see a quick snapshot of the S&P 500 updated every 10 minutes. Just kind of a quick glance of, hey, what's the market doing today just when I open up my platform? Also, on the right side of the dashboard, you're going to get a quick breakdown on your account. So right now we're looking at our pink account ending in 08, and we can see a chart here showing our historical net liquidating value right now for 1D, that's 1 day. So I like to set it to 1 day, open up my platform, check out, hey, what's the market doing and what's my account balance or net lick fluctuated since the start of the day. As of right now, got some short delta, the market's up. So, portfolio is not looking too hot, but what can you do? We'll see for tomorrow. But other than that, you can change it to different timeframes. Maybe you want to see it on a weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. So you can go all the way to 1 year, see how your balance or your account has been performing over that time. If my laptop doesn't want to get throttled by Zoom too much. But then underneath, you also have some of your account balances. There we go. We loaded it up there. This laptop is on fire right now. But to our left here, we are going to go ahead and look at some general news as well. This is just news across the market, some more popular articles coming out of Reuters. And you can refresh that just by clicking on this button up here. It should get refreshed with new articles at least every hour. And then at the very bottom, we just have some applicable watch lists of symbols with upcoming earnings. We have some dividend aristocrats. So these are symbols that have increased their dividends over the past 25 years under some different criteria. We got a glossary on our help center. I'll show you guys at the end. And then also tasty fast movers. These are just some more volatile symbols, again, based on some certain criteria, just some symbols you might want to keep track of for the day while you're going through the platform. So if we wanted to close out of the dashboard, all you got to do, just kind of like a web browser, is click on the X in the top left. Might look slightly different if you're on PC right now. I'm on Mac just for reference. And then if you want to see this screen on startup every time you open up the platform, make sure you select this little check mark here at the bottom, and then vice versa. If you don't want to see this at all when you start up and you just want to get to the good bits on positions tab and trade tab, you can uncheck that box and it will no longer be there once you're in the platform. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the red X to close our dashboard. And now we're looking at the platform. So the platform can be a bit much at first. There's a lot of information going on. You got numbers flying everywhere. You got different colors going on. What do I need to look at? So there can be a lot to kind of conquer at first, but if you break it down into the most simplest bits, you can really start to utilize the platform effectively without having to, use every little nook and cranny. Off the bat, one piece that I want you guys all to get started off with is our left-hand watch list. So this is a part of the platform that's not going to go anywhere. No matter what you do right now on our desktop platform, this left-hand watch list is always going to be here, and there's a good reason why. So as you are going through symbols here on the left side, so right now I have a little preset watch list, but if we wanted to go ahead and go into the presets and look at symbols that have dividends coming up, we could go under the dividend presets here. Maybe I want to see all of the symbols in the S&P 500. Right now it's just going off screen, but if I select our S&P 500 watch list, now I get a watch list showing me all the symbols in the S&P 500, and we get some information on this. So right now in our columns, we can see the bid and the ask price for each of these symbols, and then also have a column of change percent. So I usually like to at least have change percent up here on the side. That way you're looking at symbols, you're going, okay, what's moving for the day? What kind of percentage change are we looking at across the market? Or whatever preset symbols you like to watch. One watch list in particular that's really nice is the positions watch list. So this guy right here, and I would draw an arrow if I could, but you see positions here at the bottom of our watch list selector. If you click that, that's going to show you all the symbols that you have open positions on. So again, it's a nice way of looking at your portfolio, just in a little snapshot on the left. You can check out the change in the price. And if we wanted to edit the columns that we're viewing here on the watch list, there's this little gear icon here. And remember this gear icon later, it'll help take us to the platform settings. If we click on this gear icon at the top, we're going to get a pop-up window that's going to take us to the left-hand watch list settings. If we were to click around here in some of the other areas, we could play around with some of the other settings. But for right now, we're just under watch lists and we're under left sidebar. So we have a watch list in a couple different areas, but the one we're editing right now is just the left sidebar. And as I mentioned earlier, in that watch list, we were looking at the bid, the ask, and then the net change percent. Those are the first three columns that I had up on there. I also have some more columns that I have displayed that are on other pages. I'll show you guys how to scroll through your pages in a second, but you can adjust and play around with the order of these columns. Maybe if you just want to see net change percent, the IV rank, and maybe let's do underlying indicators. This will help show you if you got any dividends or earnings coming up. If we drag all of those to our top or any of the ones from our not displayed section, that will put it at the top of our list. And then if we go close that, clear out our drawings, and then look back on our left, we now see that change percent is our first column, IV rank is our second, and then we have underlying indicators here, which is showing us, hey, on Apple, we got an earnings date coming up in 21 days. So there's a ton of different columns you can set here. You can fully customize what you want to see in the watch list tab on the left. But having the bid and ask there is definitely nice for setting up a stock order, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second. So that's a brief overview of our left-hand watch list. You can create your own watch list. We have a guide on our help center. I can show that later as well, but we'll just keep plowing forward for now. But as we're going through the rest of the platform, just to get over some layout and wayfinding, we also have a top header here. This is going to be your active symbol. So this is an important area. Again, this is where you're going to either search for a symbol. So in the top left, we can see SPY here. So I can either type in a symbol. Maybe I wanted to look up Apple, AAPL. You could type it in, and now you see that the name for Apple is up here. And then also all these other figures at the top are applicable to our active symbol. As we go through a watch list as well, imagine maybe I just wanted to left click on Amazon. You can left click on Amazon in your watch list, or AMZN. Click on that, and now you see at the top of our platform, our active symbol is Amazon. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool. Why are you telling me this? Well, in the positions tab, you're not going to see too much. But imagine that you're on our chart tab. So if you go down here to our menu here on the left-hand side and you scroll your mouse over, it's going to start showing you the names if you hold it over for long enough. But you see this little chart icon, go ahead and click on that. While you're in the chart section, you can see that now we're looking at a chart on Amazon. If we were to then change our active symbol to say Nike, NKE, click on that in our watch list. Now our active symbol at the top of the platform is Nike, and our chart is showing for Nike. This same idea applies for the trade tab. So based on the active symbol you have selected at the top, that's going to be the information that you see on the platform. It's important to note that you can also look up a symbol here, and that's going to update the chart as well. So maybe we want Taiwan Semiconductors, TSM. You could type in TSM, press enter, and now that is your active symbol. It's going to be a very similar functionality on our trade tab. And that's why it's so nice to have this left-hand watch list, is as you're going through different charts of symbols. Maybe you just want to quickly click instead of having to type in a symbol over and over again. Or maybe you don't remember the symbol's lettering. So then you add it to your watch list, and you can always just click on it to view the chart and or any other applicable information on it, maybe in our research tab or something out there along those lines. We'll show it in a second. What's nice as well is that maybe you're a trader that likes to trade a handful of symbols. In the top left of our watch list, lastly, is our recent, actually grab the Zoom recording there. Oopsie daisy. In our top left, we have our recent symbols, and that's going to show you all of the symbols that you have recently clicked on. So you just saw we were looking at Apple, Amazon, Nike, TSM, and now we can quickly click back on Amazon and it's our active symbol. So it's nice to just quickly jump between symbols as you're going through some kind of trade discovery. Maybe you're just looking for an opportunity. Definitely going to use your left-hand watch list. So that is our watch list, and then also just a little brief section on our chart tab. We're going to go over more of it soon. But other than our active symbol header, we're also going to have our account header here too. This is going to give you information on all the accounts that you currently have open. So right now I have 2 accounts open, one of them ending in 08 and one of them also ending in 01. We can see the net liquidating value and also the account name and number. Right now, you're actually seeing a bunch of dots. This is called privacy mode. So you can set this, and this is really great. Imagine you're in an office, if you can download it on your work computer, or you're at home, you don't, around friends, you don't, internet cafe, whatever. You don't want people looking at your account number, your balance. You can go ahead and go into our platform settings. So that gear icon we had earlier, click on that. Sorry, we got a lot of drawings going on over here. And once we're in here, you can go to accounts. Yep, there we go. So you'll go to the accounts module and then the accounts header here. And then there's privacy mode right here. And that's why I see those dots there. So especially if you're looking to record something or you're in a busy area, maybe you want to turn on privacy mode. Go ahead and close out of that. Oops, still have the drawing tool selected. There we go. So now that we've gone over that header just a little bit, we can also talk about some of the other information. There is going to be your P&L day, P&L year to date. So this is your profit or loss for the day, or the profit or loss since the start of the year. Your options in stock buying power as well, either for all of your accounts totaled or the individual accounts. We also have some columns on the Greeks across our accounts, day trade counter, our P&L open, profit or loss on open positions across our account, or BP usage percent, bunch of useful information across your accounts that you can take a gander at if you want to. So if you wanted to completely hide this information on our point of privacy, you can also click on this little arrow at the top of the platform that will collapse this menu here. So you see in the top right where the arrow is pointing, you click on that and that will collapse the top of the platform. And now as we're going through the rest of the platform, we got a little more space at the bottom. So you can go ahead and expand it if you wanted to view it again. Let's click clear. And then lastly, last piece of wayfinding here is the right-hand watch list. If it's not getting cut off too much here from Zoom. But in our right-hand watch list, this is kind of just an abbreviated version of our middle panel, which has a bunch of different kind of the meat and potatoes where we're going to be placing trades, looking at our positions, checking out our history, looking at charts. The right-hand side is just a little mini version of that where you're able to see a small chart on your active symbol. You're able to also see quote details on your active symbol, any positions you got open, any orders you had working. All that information is on the right side panel. And imagine you have multiple monitors. It's very useful to potentially pop this window out and drag it into a different area of your monitor. Or if you wanted to, you had a second monitor, you want to drag it onto a second monitor. That way you're able to get more space on your screen, and you're also able to utilize all of the tools on our right-hand watch list. I'll go over a little more on these different areas, but a couple of places I just want to point off the bat is that you have this little bell here. This little bell icon is going to be for quote alerts. So you can set alerts on futures and stocks right here. And let me just get rid of that drawing, sorry. So That was this bell icon in our right side panel. Click on that bell and you can set an alert here. And then also a nice little section to mention is the news area here. So you can also check out upcoming, or not upcoming, but recent news on the individual active symbol you're looking at. So we can see here a bunch of different articles on Amazon. All you got to do is just click on the link and it will take you to the article. So for right now, just for demonstrative purposes, we're going to go ahead and collapse our right side panel by just clicking on the arrow in the top right, get some more space in the middle. Now let's get into the good stuff. Let's go ahead and place a stock trade. So right now it's 3:48 Central. The market closed at 3, or at least the US markets generally closed at 3. We have an hour of an extended hour trading that we can still get in here for equities. So imagine we wanted to place a 100 lot order or buy 100 shares of, say, Ford, which is just F. You can do that an hour before or an hour after the market by placing in an extended hours order. So it's going to be almost the same exact process as how you'd place a normal stock order during normal market hours, but we're just going to change the order type when we get in there. But you might be thinking, okay, where do I buy stock? There's no buy button here. There's no simple way to just click, I want to buy shares. Where is it? Well, it actually is there. It's just not maybe intuitive off the bat. And you kind of need a little bit of trading jargon to get the feel for it. If you remember, I mentioned the bid and ask. That's related to the pricing for the symbol. You can see the bid and ask at the top of the platform here, listed for Ford 15.22 and 15.23. We also had it on our watch list here. I have it on my second page. So these little arrows here, you can actually scroll through different pages of your watch list. So I clicked on that right-hand arrow, was able to see some more columns, but we have a bid and ask here too. All of these numbers are actually buttons that perform an action. That action is to set up a stock order. So the easiest way to set up a stock order on the platform is by clicking on the ask price. Vice versa, you look at the bid price, you click on that, that is setting up a short order or to sell shares. It's not super intuitive where you think bid is for selling, ask is for buying. Bid's got a B in it, ask has an S in it. Can get a little confusing, but you just think of it right, buy, left, sell, bid, sell, ask, buy. So if I wanted to buy some shares in Ford, all I got to do is either click on the ask, and you see as I scroll my mouse over the ask at the top, it's kind of lighting up or getting highlighted. Or on the right side panel here, I could do it too. All these buttons are highlighting. If I click on the ask, now I have a stock order queued up in our platform. So one more time, I just clicked on this button up here. And right now, all you need to keep your eyes on are our order ticket at the bottom of the screen. So we'll see the trade tab there too. Maybe you want to place a covered call or something along those lines. So you will see the options chain, but if you're just looking to buy stock, all you need to look at is the order ticket at the bottom of your screen right now. We clicked on the ask, and then we got this little prompt at the bottom. You might have a default stock order quantity of 100. Right now I have a default stock order of 1. You can change it in the settings. I'll show it a little bit later. But you can go ahead and see that I have 1 share, a purchase, a buy order for 1 share. I wanted to adjust the amount of shares. Remember, I wanted to buy 100 or maybe 50 in this case. I could left click and type in 50, or I could click on the arrows here, right and left, to change the share quantity. There's also some more arrows here for changing quantity. You can click on those arrows, and that's also changing the quantity. You can change the increment too, so that each arrow moves 5 shares. It's all in the platform settings. But in this case, I just wanted to buy 100 shares. So I'm going to type in 100. Now I can see that I have an order to buy 100 shares of Ford. Some important pieces of information we're going to want to look at in our order ticket that we're buying. We're looking at 100 shares. What is our order price? In this case, we have a limit order queued up. So we have our order type and our time in force in the right side. So we have a limit order. That means that we're setting a limit price for our order. That's why we have a price here in the middle. But imagine you were placing a market order where you're just like, hey, I just fill me at where the market's trading at best right now. You can go ahead and change the order type here on the right side of the platform to market. And now you see in the middle, we no longer need to enter a price for our order. It's because it's a market order. If we go back and change it to a limit, it looks like it's getting cut off by Zoom a little bit there. We can play around with the price we want to enter at. Maybe, I mean, 1523 is right at the ask, paying pretty much as what people are willing to sell it. But imagine I wanted to place it a bit below and buy it when it's at 1515. I could set that price, press enter, and now we'll set a limit order for $15.15 or when it trades down to that price or better. We can also set it as a stop market order and stop limit order. All those order types are available in the regular market session, but right now we are in the extended hours session. We got 5 minutes left. So let's go ahead and place this. You set the order type as limit. You need to be in a limit order in the extended hour. And then in the time in force in the TIFF here, you can click on EXT. So that stands for extended hours. And again, this is an hour before or an hour after the market open and close. Click on EXT. Same process you'd have during the regular hours. We're just changing the time in force. And then you can go ahead and let's just go back up to the ask price. So we definitely get filled, or at least hopefully get filled at that price. We can click on review and send. We like the order. We're buying 100 shares. We can see that our max loss, which is just the full principal of the shares, is 1,523. And then also the max profit, which is potentially infinite. So if Ford goes to the moon, we go to infinity and beyond. So let's go ahead and click on review and send to check out our order ticket. Once you click on review and send, double check your order ticket, make sure you're doing what you want to do. We're buying to open BTO 100 shares of Ford. We're placing it at a price of 1523. If you can see it over there, just do the arrow. We have an extended hours order, and we can see the trade cost, which is just, how much the share's notional value is worth. And right now I'm actually on an account I cannot place a trade in, but if you wanted to adjust the account, you are going to place a trade in. Right now we have the account in 08 selected. If we go to change account and then go click on our different account, this one in purple ending in 01, now we can go ahead and send this order. So if you wanted to edit the price of the order, edit it all, you can click on edit order. That takes us back to the screen that we were just at. Or if you wanted to completely get rid of the order, you hate it, this is a terrible idea, you can clear it from your platform, get it off your screen by clicking on clear order. If you're ready to send, you will click send order. That's going to go ahead and send it into the market. So let's go ahead and send the order. We can see our working order in the top left of the platform. And then we got filled right away because we placed it at 1523, I believe, which was right at the high end. And if we go into our positions tab here now, got a lot of positions open in the pink account. But if you see right here, we can see our purple account in Ford. If we open that up or click on that drop down there, we can see the 100 shares that we just bought. So nice, we did it. Some other cool things that you can note just off the bat once you've bought your shares is that if you go into our chart that we had earlier, so maybe we were looking at our chart, we wanted a good potential area to buy. You could go in there, click on the chart, and now we actually see our positions cost basis on the chart. So we can see where we bought that position. I see Chaz, can you trade options in the after hours? As of right now, no. Potentially in the future, you might be able to trade SPX in the pre and post market session on our platform. But for the most part, it's just going to be outright equities. And then, you also have futures going 23.5 as well. So good stuff. So we got our 100 shares of Ford. We can see it on our chart. We can also go into our activity tab here just to go through and check out that we have gotten filled on our order at 356.23. And we saw that we entered it at a price of 15.23. And we got filled at 15.22. So that's a breakdown in your activity tab. You'll see, hey, where did I enter this order price at? If it was a limit order or stop limit or something along those lines. And then where did I get filled at what time? And then you also have an affiliated order number, maybe if you're reaching out to support on a specific order. And then you also have a designation here of just, hey, we're BTO buying to open 100 shares of Ford. So you can get a breakdown of your purchase and seeing your position in the positions tab. If we wanted to close this position, it's going to be similar to when we're placing options trade that we'll do very shortly. All you got to do, and we're going quick on time here, but maybe I'll just set up a bracket order in this case, because I know people like to talk about take profits and stop losses. So bracket orders, or OCO or OTOCO, one cancels the other, or one triggers a one cancel the other order, are orders that very simply you can just put it, you have two working orders. You got one on the upside, you got one on the downside, you got a limit order on the top, and you got a stop loss on the bottom. You can do this for single legs, you can do it for stock, you can do it for option spreads as well. You're setting a stop loss, and then you're also setting a take profit point on either side. So imagine you're, especially for a lot of our international users, imagine you're asleep during the times that the normal US market is trading, and you want to make sure your positions have some kind of protection at least, or at least being able to close out if there's some kind of bigger moves. That's where a bracket order can come in very, very useful. So if you wanted to set up a bracket order on a stock position, it's as easy as just going into your positions tab. So we're in our positions tab here, and then we click on our stock position. So I just left clicked on our Ford position here. And before we do that, actually, I just kind of wanted to break down something really quick. In our positions tab, we also have a lot of columns like our watch list. So I had change percent here, but we also have P&L open. That's a profit or loss open, P&L open percent. Some other stuff like DTE is for days until expiration for options. We have our Greeks. It's applicable to options as well. There's one called underlying indicators that'll show you earnings and dividends coming up. But in particular, the ones that I like to have here open for sure is P&L open. Is, hey, what's my profit or loss on this open position if I were to close it out at the current mid price? In this case, if we were to close out at, we're right around in the middle there where it hasn't really moved too much, where we could close out for a profit of $1. But this is where you're going to check out, and you can see on some of our other positions, like our trade on Apple right here, we have a profit or loss right on there of negative 287. So if we were to close out at the mid price on there, we would lose $287 on the trade. So good to have P&L open there. And that'll, kind of also dictate maybe when you want to start placing your order or placing your bracket. So let's go ahead and show you how to place a bracket. You can click on the order here, left click it, and then right click once you have the leg selected. And you can go on close position. That's just going to set up a normal closing order. Or you can click on bracket here. So let's go ahead and click on bracket. So we clicked on bracket, and now we have our bracket order window. See a couple different pieces of information. On our left side, this was our opening trade. So this is where we opened it up at 1522. It's currently trading at 1522. And then on the right side here, we have that bracket order I was talking about earlier. We have our close at profit to sell up here at the top, and then we have our stop loss here at the bottom. So you can set it either based on a percentage up or down move, or just based on a particular price. In this case, we could do 5% up, 2% down. If we wanted to go ahead and send that order to work at the next market session, maybe we could do 5% up, 5% down. Just keep everything set as GTC. That means it's just going to keep working until it's either filled, or you cancel the order, or the options expire, or something happens, transfer out your shares or something like that. But if you go ahead and click on review and send, you get a breakdown of your bracket order. We have our stop loss here at the top, where if it triggered here, we would get an estimated profit of $76. And then our stop loss here, where if we got triggered right at our stop of 1447, you could set, or you would essentially have a loss of $75. So that's where, you can set the take profit stop loss based on certain dollar moves or profit or loss moves. Maybe you want to set it at a 50% take profit or a 50% loss potential. You can do that there. If we go ahead and click send here, now we see in our positions tab, we have some working orders. So these are our closing orders here. We got two. We got our take profit and also our stop loss. We could cancel either side of these orders. We could cancel them both together. In this case, maybe if I just want to keep the stop loss, get rid of the take profit, you could right click here and click on cancel order, or you can click cancel complex order and that cancels the whole thing. In this case, let's just cancel order to get this one leg here canceled. So I right clicked on the working order and then left click to cancel. And now we are out of that side of the order. And now we only have our stop loss working on the trade. We could go in here and again, click cancel order, cancel complex, or we could go in and click replace order. This guy right here at the bottom of the quick action menu, and that's going to take us back into our order ticket for the stop loss order where we can maybe change our stop price, change it to a stop limit order if you want as well. So fully customizable based on your kind of strategy or how you want to place your orders there. Again, you can do that same exact thing on options or option spreads as well. Very, very useful. So that was a quick introduction on stock. And also just to get a breakdown of, hey, you've opened a trade, you've placed your closing trade. How do I reconcile positions that I've already closed? An important tab that you're going to want to keep your eyes on is the history tab here. So if you go into the history tab, scroll my mouse over, you see this little icon here at the bottom. Let me just draw on there. Get that. So the history tab right here, this is where you're going to see all your transactions, any exercise and assignments, dividend payments, symbol name changes, transfers, all that kind of jazz. Any line item is going to show up in your history tab. So definitely keep your eyes on this if you're looking to reconcile. But we can see the trade that we just placed today to buy 100 shares at $15.22 for $1,500 or $1,522. Brain is starting to go out here. But as you're in here, you can filter based on the account you have, also the transaction type. So maybe you want to just look at trades and then also a specific date or custom date here at the top. So maybe we want to just go ahead and look at trades only. I want to see trades in the last 60 days. And maybe I want to see trades in the last 60 days for Apple. You type in Apple here at the top. Do we have anything? No. Let's see. Maybe QQQ. Let's just stick with Ford. So if we go ahead and go into Ford, we can see some old trades here. We actually had placed a covered call in Ford. And we could see that in our right-hand activity tab. So just to show you how I pulled that up, I clicked on this little arrow up here, drag that over. And then I also clicked on activity. And now we can see all of our activity in Ford after the last few days. And we can see the covered call that we had opened on, what was that, June 29th. And then we had closed that covered call there the next day at 8 a.m. So we see that in our activity tab on the right, and then we go, okay, what was the profit or loss I got on that trade? Either you could do the math through the activity tab, or you can go ahead and go, okay, bought 100 shares, sold a call, sold 100 shares, bought back the call to close it out. You select all four of those legs, and now you see in the top right of our history tab, that's going to total all those transaction lines. We can see that we got a $20 profit on the trade. We can also see that the commissions that we paid was $1, and we had about 46 cents or 0.467 cents in pass-through fees for the trade. So history tab is really great for going back through your trades, seeing how certain trades have performed that are closed already. You can also go in the year-to-date section here. This is a nice place to mention. If you go into year-to-date here at the top, you're going to get a breakdown of the profit or loss across all symbols in your account on a realized and unrealized basis. Also a breakdown on commissions and fees. So a lot of great information here across your account as you're keeping track of your performance. Not looking too hot in the account right now, but you know, you might see green, I might see red. We'll see. But it depends on how the year's going here. But if we go ahead and go back to transactions here, we can also go back to any, and maybe let's see if we got anything going on here. We got any assignments or exercises. Let's go 120. Okay. Well, you can also see some exercise assignments, line items. I don't have any examples in that account, but you'll see a lot of information in the history tab there. Okay, so now that we've gone over some of the basics of a stock trade, history tab, the watch list, columns, let's get into an options trade real quick here, and then we'll go ahead and open it up to Q&A and go over any specific sections you guys want to cover. So maybe we're thinking about placing an earnings play. So maybe we're going through our watch list here. We got our chart open. Right now we're looking at Ford. We can also see that working order in Ford here too. So nice little caveat there. You can also double click and drag and drop and change the order. Little teaser there. So double click, drag and drop. Sneak peek that I'm telling you guys there. Be careful though, because you drop it, that's changing the order right away. So a quick way to edit your orders on the chart if you got one working. But back to our options trade there. If we got our chart open, we got all earnings. So we're checking out, hey, I'm looking for an opportunity symbol that has some upcoming earnings. Let's see, we got earnings at column here. Got one coming up 7/20, so in about 8 days, under American Airlines. Let's I'm liking it. You know, it's trading up quite a bit. Maybe we'll look to place an example earnings trade here on American Airlines. So we can click on trade here if we want to place an options trade here. Go into our trade tab, and we're going to start in table mode. So we clicked on trade and then table, and our active symbol at the top is already American Airlines. So the entire options chain that we got to see here at the bottom, that's for American Airlines. If we wanted to click on, say, BKR here, that's going to show us the options chain for BKR or Baker Hughes. Go back, click on AAL, we're back on the options chain for American Airlines. So same kind of functionality as we had for the chart earlier. While we are in table mode, you're going to see all the different expirations that we can trade on this underlying. So you can see all the different dates. You can see we got some July, we got some August, November, all the way out to December 19, 2025. So that'd be called a leap, or it's a long-term option over a year. And then we can also see the days until expiration here tied to those expirations. So we can see that July 14th is in 2 days. July 21st is in 9 days. So congratulations, I can do simple math, or I can just look at the number there. It saves you a little bit of head math. So maybe if you're a trader that wants to look at specific days until expiration when setting up a trade, maybe you're looking for, hey, I like to set it up somewhere close to 45 days out until expiration. Maybe you're going to look at the August 25th weekly, or you're someone that, hey, I like to stay to a little more liquid months, maybe the quarterlies or the monthly contracts. Maybe I'll just stick to trading the August 18th monthly contract. Here you can actually see some orange W's. That signifies a weekly contract. If you're not seeing those, there's a filter icon in the top here. If you click on that, and then let's clear the drawings there. If you click on the filter icon in the top and then go to all expirations, you should start seeing the weeklies. And then the last piece of information here is that you're going to see the implied volatility and then also the expected move for each of these expirations. So it's saying that, you know, for an earnings play, we're usually looking at the expiration right after earnings. So we'll look at the July 21st, which is the monthly contract too, which is nice. But it has an implied volatility for this chain of 54.3%, just based on the options pricing at the time, Black-Scholes model. And then we also have the expected move. So that is the one standard deviation expected move on the underlying, 0.98 up and down from its current price of 1857. So it's saying, you know, based on what people are thinking for this earnings announcement, it's kind of baked into the expected move there. It's baked into the options pricing already, based on, kind of a greater market theory. So if we wanted to look at options or strikes within this expiration, all you got to do is just click on July 21st here. That will expand that entire expiration here, and we can see quite a few strikes. That's because I have the strikes all set at the top of the platform. So if you go ahead here at the top and click on all, and then go down to maybe say 10, you're going to see a lot less strikes here, a little more manageable, or we can go back to maybe 16. Fits nicely on the screen. Imagine, I know some of you might be asking about, placing calendar spreads. If you have less strikes showing and then you click on multiple expirations, you can possibly, set up a little calendar action here by clicking on multiple expirations at once. Something to just show you off the bat there. In this case, let's just go to 16 because it's a nice visual. So while we are in the trade tab here, there's a lot of numbers, a lot of data going on. What do we need to look at? Main thing here is we have the bid and ask. Again, these are buttons that are going to help us set up trades. We have the calls on the left, puts on the right. And then we also have some adjustable columns here, depending on your screen's resolution. You might have more columns, but in this case, we're looking at the delta and theta, or some of the Greeks for each of these strikes. Maybe we wanted to check out the volume of contracts or the open interest currently for each of these strikes. You could go here, click at the top, and change the column by clicking on volume or open interest. So there's a lot of different columns. Maybe you want to check out implied volatility for each of these strikes, in the money percent, out of the money percent, all that jazz. You can get that stuff in your trade tab columns. But again, when we're setting up our trade here, the main things we're going to want to be looking at are our bid and ask prices. So we're going to be clicking to set up a trade. But also something I mentioned earlier, and I know traders like statistics. So we look at that expected move, we can say, okay, how can we actually see this or visualize this while we're setting up a trade? What's really nice is that if you see this orange highlight here on the right side of the trade tab, that's actually showing your expected move on, or not your, but the options chain for this expiration's expected move on the table. So we can see the donut here, that little gray donut is indicating the last price. So this orange highlight is showing you 0.98 up and down from that last price point. So this can help us in setting up a earnings play. So maybe we want to profit in a scenario where after American Airlines announcement, maybe I have some kind of premonition that it's not going to really be that big of an announcement. It's not going to move too much. Maybe I think it's just going to trade within a range and I want to take advantage of some extra premium in there. Well, maybe I could sell a strangle on this underlying. So how you do that is either by clicking on the bid on the call and put side. So that's selling a call and selling a put to set up the strategy. So we could click on the bid on either side to set up that strangle. Or if you're new to trading, new to the platform, and you need some extra confidence or you want some help setting up your trade, you can actually go to the top here and we have a strategy selector set at short shingle right now, but you can go between setting up a long, short, or call vertical spread. So maybe if we wanted a short call vertical or a long call vertical spread, we can click on go after selecting that. And now we see a default order here setting up to buy a call and sell a call, or setting up a call spread. If we wanted to clear out that order, get it off our screen, and click on clear in the bottom, or we can right click each of these legs and click delete leg if you want. Let's clear off our drawings really quick. To go back, talking about our strangle, we could also set that up in here. We go short and then strangle and click go. And now we see our short legs on either side. But personally, the fastest way, and especially as you get more comfortable with the platform, the easiest way to set up a trade here is just going to be clicking on the bid or ask price. So maybe we want to set up our strangle here right outside the expected move on the underlying. If we go to the orange highlight here, we see it's right around the 17.5. We can sell that put by clicking on the 18-cent bid price. And now we see in the bottom left and in our order at the top, we're selling the 17.5 put. Then we can click on the expected move on the bottom of the range, maybe at 20. Let's do, maybe we'll go 17 and 20, like that. So we'll go about $6 wide here, and we can see that we are selling a call on 20, selling a put to 17. Clear that out. And as we are in our order ticket here, something you'll notice is on the left side, we have a red, green, and red area that's indicating our profit or loss zones at expiration. So you can see here that if the price of the underlying at expiration were to trade between our strikes here we have selected, we would have a profit on this trade. Whereas if it trades outside of our strikes, we're going to be at a loss. And then right where those two colors meet is our break even. So you can go through your order ticket here. Maybe you want to set it up based on deltas or certain parameters. Maybe you want to widen it out a bit. You can left click and drag your legs to different strikes. And you can see in the bottom here too, our delta, our theta, our probability of profit, all these different metrics are getting updated in real time in our order ticket as we're adjusting the strikes. Additionally, you can use some of these tools here to adjust your strikes. So we have our width tool if we want to widen it out, our strikes tool to move it up and down to in price. And then we also have quantity here. So maybe if you want to sell 2 strangles, let's just set that back to where we had it. We could sell 2 strangles, we could sell 3 strangles, or maybe you wanted to do a ratio of some kind. You could double click on one of the legs to gray select it and then change the quantity to a 2-to-1. So that's how you can set up a ratio there. You might run into trouble just off the bat if you don't have the leg selected and you are changing the quantity here. You see how they're both stepping together. If you click one leg and then select it and change the quantity is going one at a time. So based on how you had selected, it's going to adjust there. But you might be thinking, okay, great information. I can set up my order price there, my limit order that I want to get into this trade at. But, you know, where can I see a more detailed breakdown of my profit or loss scenario? And how you do that is by clicking on curve here at the top of the platform. You click on curve. And then, so this is kind of a slightly horizontal view of the trade table where you can do all that stuff we were doing before. We see the last price donut I was talking about, the expected move highlight, profit or loss zones, all that jazz is on there. But most importantly, click on analysis after you are in curve mode. And once you've clicked on analysis, and I might have quite a few things going on here. So let's go ahead and set that up. And zoom in a little bit. There we go. So once we are in here, we can see a more detailed version of our profit and loss scenario. And we can drag and drop these legs and adjust this as we are in our order ticket. And we can see here at the top, our max profit is 150 here. Let's just go down to a quantity. Oops. Let's go back up and then double click both legs, go down. If we do a quantity of 1, our order price at entry is our max profit of 75. And then we can see where our profit or loss might be as it's trading out. So imagine American Airlines after the earnings announcement, and then also at this options expiration, it's trading at a price of about 23.05. Well, then we'd probably be at a profit of around 300 or a loss of $325. You can see that in this kind of top header here, but also as I am scrolling my mouse around on the screen, you see this little like box that's moving with my mouse, showing you P&L expiration. That's showing you where your profit or loss at expiration will be. There's a bunch of other tools here in the analysis mode that are branched off on the right side panel under analysis. It can get a little in depth. It's a little much for this demo, but we have a great guide on our help center. But yeah, so that's where you can kind of get a breakdown of your options trade there. And once you're ready, or you like where you have it, maybe want to go back to 20 and 17 for a limit of 27. We can double check our order, see that our max profit on this trade is $27. Our max loss on a strangle is technically infinite. Theta, we're collecting about $3.50 per day in theta, around there. Delta, this is a slightly bearish, or it has some slightly negative deltas. And then we can also see our probability of profit, extrinsic value, P50, some other metrics on our trade. We like it. We can go ahead and click on review and send at the bottom here. Double check our order. Got on the wrong account again. Oopsie. And since the market's closed, we'll just send it and I'll start working the next session. So we'll go ahead and send our order. And now we can see our working order in American Airlines here. And hopefully when the market opens tomorrow, we'll get filled. So that's how you can open up an options trade. Once an options position is open, imagine we're looking at this just option in Apple. It's that same functionality that we're looking at with stock on how to close. You left click the leg, you right click, and then you can close position. You can close at profit percent. You could roll the position. You could place a bracket order. There's a bunch of different options. We have a more specific options demo that goes into the kind of the nitty gritty details about all the different order types you can place. But that's just kind of a brief overview of how you're going to manage those positions. And then also imagine you have multiple legs as well. If you left click multiple legs and then click close, that will close all of them at the same time. So we can see that there. So that is pretty much it in terms of navigating the platform, placing a trade, maybe looking around, finding some inspiration for trading. While we are here, do we have any specific questions, stuff you guys want to go over that I have not touched yet? Maybe the active trader tool, stop loss. Yeah, here. So someone wanted to place a stop loss on a call or put. So let's again look at that. We were looking at this long put in Apple. If we go to close position here, left click close position, and then in the bottom left, it's going to default to limit. But if we go ahead and select a stop, I think was it stop market or just stop loss, you could set a stop market order if you wanted for this single leg option, and that will set your order type as stop market. And then you set your stop price here at the top, and then you have your, it's going to, automatically be a market order once that stop is triggered. So you can go review and send, and then send it. That's as easy as it is. All you got to do is just change that order type in the bottom right. So the active trader tab someone was asking about, let's go over the active trader tab for just a second. That's going to be under this section here. This is especially great for our futures traders, but if you click on active here, this is where you can quickly buy and sell. Maybe in this case, let's just do MES. Imagine you just click on the buy button here. You can click and drag and change the price of the order as you see the market's closed here on futures. So we're not really, it's a little late to get a good example here, but usually this last price is going to be flicking around. You can kind of change your order here, but imagine you place an order here. Check some here 1 second. So a good point here while we're here actually is that I keep setting my default account to the one in pink here that we can't place a trade in. But if you want to make sure your default account is set to a specific account, double click this little T shield at the top of the platform. And then once you click on what we're getting there, MES, you click on the bid price here, or not bid, sorry, the ask price to buy. You get your order up here. You can click send order. Oh, okay. Yeah, market's closed anyways. So, but if we did send an order, your working order would show up there. You can quickly adjust your price. We have a nice tutorial on our help center. They'll show it off. We also have a futures demo coming up and on our YouTube channel that goes over this in extensive detail. So definitely check out our YouTube channel. Options on active trader. As of right now, there is not options on the active trader. How to adjust the chart, William. Great stuff. Okay, yes, thank you for bringing that up. Let's go over the chart a little bit here. So Well, we get into our chart tab, we can click on this icon right here. So we have a larger chart here looking at MES, but we also can click on this 4 icon here, this 4 chart icon here, that's called Tasty Charts. You scroll our mouse over, you're also going to see the name Tasty Charts there at the bottom. So if we click on Tasty Charts, I just want to show you guys this off the bat. This is going to give you, depending on your screen's resolution, you can go multiple rows and columns. Should be able to, there we go. But you can get up to 4 charts at a time. And what's really nice, and this has all the same functionality as our bigger chart, is that you can click on this detach button and drag it into another window. It's going to go a little crazy on the demo right here if I click on it now. But if you're on your own screen, definitely click on that button there to detach it, drag it into another window. And that way you can have the trade tab open and have your charts open, or be looking at the watch list or the follow feed or something like that, history tab, and you can still have your charts in the background or another window. So that's by going to the Tasty Charts icon at the bottom here and then clicking on this button right here. Very, very useful to have. I use that all the time. So that's just our Tasty Charts. It has all the functionality I'm about to show you, but within our chart here, again, we're looking at S&P futures, but we can go ahead and adjust our chart aggregation and time period. So aggregation is going to be the tick that we're seeing. So each of these little bars here actually represents our aggregation. So if we change this to, let's go to 1D, or this capital D, that means that each tick is representing a day's worth of data. So you can see here, if we scroll our mouse over, and let me get that working here. If we scroll our mouse over and we have this little dialog box at the top, we can see we're looking at June 2nd. The open was at 4,273 and it closed at 4,331. So as you're scrolling through the chart, you can see either the price on the right-hand axis or the y-axis, or in our dialog box at the top. And then also you can check out the period and say, I want to look at day ticks over a year. You can go D over 1Y, and now we're looking at a chart of day ticks over an entire year span. Depending on how you have it set, if you go down to an hour time frame, it might change your period because there's just a lot of data, or there's just, you can see here, you could scroll back and forth. It's not the most, it might be useful depending on what you're doing, but generally I'm sticking to a 1 day, 1 year time frame, or maybe looking over several years over a day, but to each their own. To the right of that too, one important piece to set up is the chart type. So we have quite a few different chart types here. We have descriptions in our help center, but if you scroll your mouse over, you can see the name for each of these. So you can get a tick chart if you want that. Maybe you want a line graph instead, or you just want, the classic candles there. It's the top option. One thing that I had glanced over here is the indicators tab. So this is where a lot of you are going to want to get in there. And you can go ahead and find all of we have over 300 to 400 studies and indicators on our platform. So imagine you wanted maybe MACD. You could type in MACD, you see it there, and then there's a button here at the bottom to click Add Selected. And then you'll see our indicator on the right. You can set some parameters, some styling as well. You can set it as a default. And then now we see in the bottom of our chart, we see our MACD line. Maybe also we want a simple moving average or SMA line. Type in SMA at the top, click on it, Add Selected. And now we have a simple moving average on our main chart. What's nice is that you can actually drag and drop these guys. So if you left click on the header here and actually drag and drop either to a new subgraph or the current graph there, you can overlay your indicators on different charts. So maybe if you want your SMA line and MACD on the same line, you can do that by dragging and dropping them on top of each other. So nice feature there. A lot of different indicators that you can set the parameters to, pretty much full settings on all of those if it's available. Then also for our technicians, what's very nice is our allotment of drawing tools. So we have quite a few all the way down, you got your Fibonacci retracements, you got some cycle brackets, simple as price levels, or even one I like when I'm just looking at percentage moves is the gain loss line, where you can click on one point and click on another, and it'll show you the change in or percentage change in price on your graph there. We can click again, do that again, or go back to our note tool there just to drag around, or also double click on a drawing and change the color or coordinates, or, you know, especially for the more advanced drawings like the Fibonacci drawings, there's a lot of more technical parameters that you might want to go into. So the way to do that is just to double click on the drawing there, and you can add that in. There's also an ability to write in notes on the chart too, and you can save your chart and you know, continue to populate the next day. So Charles, you're asking, hey, how do I get more charts on one screen? I'll show you again in just a second. You can do that by clicking on this icon here, the Tasty Charts icon. So this guy right here, Tasty Charts, and that will pull you to the multiple charts window. If you have a bigger screen resolution, or you detach this chart into another screen by clicking on that arrow, you're definitely going to get some more charts. So see someone asking, hey, is custom grouping available? Yes, it is. In the positions tab, if you go to the group by at the top, click on the drop down, go to custom here, and then you go in and maybe we look at Apple. You can right click on Apple and then go to group positions, and you can label it, say, big loser. Because that's how it's feeling. But so yeah, you could set your custom group there, and you can select multiple legs to be in the same group. Maybe we group the positions, set it as Amazon trade, or, you know, whatever group you want. You can set your name and group, and it's going to differentiate it there. So hope that helps. So we got another question on, hey, you got any references for settings? So mainly the references for videos or help content for our settings would be, maybe you go to, imagine you want to change your default stock order quantity. Just type it in there, and you could say, how do I set a default stock order quantity? And we have great guides showing you screenshots of where you need to go across the platform to do that. So we have over 300, 400 articles, ranging from videos, tutorials, stuff on taxes, margins, trade placement, all that jazz. Definitely give it a look. It has a ton of great information, but you know, we are also open books, so feel free to reach out. Can you chart pairs trade? Yeah, good stuff. I can show you that, my friend. So if you go to trade here, and then you go to pairs, so you wanted a little /ES/YM, you type in those two on your pairs trader tool, and then you go and click on this little chart icon on the top right. So I'll show you that one more time. Up right there. And now you get the chart for that, and you can expand it if you want. So it's going a little bit off screen there, but it's just because of Zoom. But yeah, so that's how you can pull up a chart. Any way to pop that out? So this is actually a entirely a pop out screen, so you might not see it on the screen there, Chaz, but you could drag this into a different window if you want. Can you trade E-minis? So if you're curious on our futures products, really great watch list to go to is, let's go back here. Really great watch list to check out here. On the left side is futures all, and then you're going to see all the different futures products that you can trade on our platform. So definitely go here, watch list futures, futures all, micros, or the larger contracts. You can check them all out. So Chaz, you can only have one pairs chart at this time, my friend. So any other, Barbara, can you import studies? As of right now, no, but in our new web platform, we actually have a brand new charting package that will have the ability to import scripts and charting indicators. So that should be coming in the next few weeks or month on our web platform. And then we're looking at integrating that as well on our desktop platform. But if you do have specific studies from another platform, that is a larger name, maybe not self-created, we can definitely look into adding it or getting something close to it. So feel free to shoot an email to tech at tastytrade.com, and we can definitely look into that. Or feedback at tastytrade.com is good for sending anything you're looking for. And then support at tastytrade.com is another email. So thank you so much, everyone. I know a lot of you were asking, hey, can we get a recording of this? Yes, we're posting a recording to YouTube. We are going to send you guys an email there shortly. And Marcia, quick question. Hey, can you explain what studies are? So studies and indicators are essentially just kind of, it's some kind of processing of data based on an equation or certain metrics that are in a certain symbol, and then making a chart off of it, or adding in some kind of indicator to the chart, or, it might be an indicator or study that's like, hey, here's this buy signal study. We do have some third-party studies that are along those lines, but again, those are, it's not investment advice in any fashion from us that we're supporting them. It's just more, you kind of need especially too, like a good Google search on a lot of these, you can get a ton of information on them. But yeah. Barbara, can we do back testing on the desktop platform? As of right now, we don't have demo or paper trading accounts. We do have an open API, and we do have a help article on it that will go over it. But you can go into the open API if you are an API trader and back test a sandbox environment. So to answer your question, no, not really from a front end use, but if you are an API trader, you can back test strategies through that. So that's, I see someone just asking, hey, can you show where to download the desktop platform one more time? Yes, I got you, my friend. So if you're on tastytrade.com, just our main website, and you go to platforms are technology, this tab right here, and then there's a download button at the top of the screen here. That's where you're going to go ahead and download the platform. So hope that helps. I see some people are tossing the links in chat. Big shout out to Andy, Anthony, Peter, and Jolie for coming in and answering questions. Very much appreciated. And to a point, if you guys are new customers here, these are, myself, Anthony, who's actually standing right next to me here, Peter and Jolie, we're all on the phones, we're all on chats. We're going to be the people that are answering your questions when you call in. So, this is the service that you're going to get. We want to help you guys get moving, do what you need to do without least friction as possible. We're completely open book. So thank you so much for your time. We got plenty more demos coming up. We got a futures demo Anthony is going to host soon. We have a mobile platform demo we're going to host in a week. So for those of you that like the mobile app, definitely keep an eye out for that. That'll be really great. And yeah, also check out our YouTube channel. We got a bunch of great stuff up. Date for futures. Also, just for reference too, if you wanted to check out live demos, I keep closing it off here. And then I'm like, oh, one more thing. We're not stopping. Anthony's like, I want to go home. Just end this thing. But if you are in our upcoming live demos help article here, and then you click on info.tastytrade.com/demos, you're going to see all the dates for our upcoming demos. So we got a mobile demo coming up in July. And then I believe, when is that futures? I think actually, was it September? Okay, so the futures one is coming up in September, but we do have a futures demo on our YouTube channel. We did about a month ago. Nothing's changed since then. So luckily you can check out that recording. It'll be really good. Sorry, my friend, baited you in there. But we do have stock options and then our mobile demo and a web demo coming up. So I can toss that into chat here. So here's where you can sign up for the demos. I see some people tossing in there too, but okay, awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Good luck with the trading. Good luck with the platform. Feel free to reach out whenever you need it. We're here to help. We got emails, we got chats, we got phones. So definitely reach out. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your night. And I will see you guys on the flip side.